So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Senior Parent Night Information, or Parent Information Night. Thank you for joining us. We are glad that you're all here. We are recording this, so anybody who doesn't see it tonight or wants to watch it again, we are going to upload this to our YouTube channel, and I'll send a link out at a later date. Tonight we have Mr. Shepard will be joining us a little bit at the beginning here for some senior photo information and yearbook information. And then our counselors will be going through their presentations to offer information for you all. You do not have the opportunity to unmute tonight, but we do want those chats to be sent to us. So if you have questions along the line, please send those comments and questions to Kim Olzak. You should have access to her down in the chat feature down at the bottom. And then you should be able to select Kim Olzak. And then Kim will, throughout the presentation, unmute and then answer those questions so that everybody can hear those questions along the way. And then there'll be a little bit of time at the end to ask any additional questions that you may have. Kim, Shep, Melinda, Jackie, everybody good?
Can you make Miss Chavez a co-host? I don't think I can do it if I'm only co-host.
Jump in there, and I don't know where she just went. So yes, Kim, you want to start off and go, and then I'll find Jackie. Or sorry, Shep, you want to start off and go?
Yes, I can go. So my name is James Shepard. I'm the co-yearbook advisor, and I'm going to hopefully answer all of your questions about senior photos, due dates, all those things. So I'm going to share my screen, give you some dates. And sorry, you might hear my 1-year-old in the background. I try to distance myself, but it's pretty loud. All right. So the important dates, and just actually, I guess I'll go over choosing which photography company to go with, or if you decide to do it yourself or just have the school photos taken, that's all those options are totally fine. But Prestige Photography is our preferred photography company. The reason is that they make the senior composite. I pulled up because I know everyone asks, what is a senior composite? So this is a senior composite. This is what I could find online really quick. And so this is what gets hung up in the hallways. And so it's nice to have, but only photos through Prestige appear on the senior composite because they actually create it. So that's the first thing to note about senior pictures. And then the other information, if you decide to go through Prestige, I will include you on, I sent on email about a month ago with this information, but if you put your name in the chat and you didn't get that, put your email in the chat, I can send you that again, I can forward it to you. So if anyone didn't get this, feel free to put your name in your email in the chat and I will send this to you. But the important dates we have, if you go through Prestige, the photo or the date to take a photo is Friday, October 29th, which is coming up in about a month from now. And then the date to select a photo is Friday, November 12th. So it's 2 weeks after the date that you, last date to take the photo. Okay, so that hopefully covers Prestige. And then if you don't go through Prestige, if you take a photo yourself, maybe you go through a different company, those will be due Friday, December 3rd, and those need to be emailed to our yearbook email, which is ahs.yearbook@avondaleschools.org. And I will go over how to do that and what format in just a second. Again, all this information is on an earlier email from about a month ago. So if you did not get that email, please feel free to put your email in chat and I will send that to you after this. But I'll just go over that information really quick. So if you decide to not go through Prestige and take it somewhere else, again, due date is Friday, December 3rd. And where you'd send it, again, to our yearbook email. And then the other things that it needs, we're looking for a medium shot, which is face and shoulders with a blue or dark gray background, something close so that they match up. And then the size and format that it's going to appear in the yearbook for a JPEG format And the picture is going to be 1.5 inches by 2 inches, and 300 DP preferred is the quality that we need it to be in. So if you send that to the photographer that you go with, they should have no problem getting that in the right format and send it to me. And I think that covers all the things I was going to talk about. If there's any questions, I'm here to answer them. So,
Hey, Shep, do you know what they charge for a sitting?
I do not. No,
I mean, if you're just using them for the yearbook, do they charge?
yes, they do. I can't remember what, because there's all different packages. I do know this though. They, and I forgot to mention this. I do have, if you just want the photo just for like the composite and the yearbook, I usually have them come into school, usually in like mid-November or so. And I'll send out information when that happens. And I let all the seniors know. And so they'll come to school and they'll take just like one single photo that day in school. So if you want to do that, I think it's around $15, $20 is what it is for just that like single shot. So your students will know about that when I get information, when they're ready to set that date up. So thanks for asking that, Kim. Okay. All right. If there
All right, so I don't see any questions in the chat,
Okay.
Mr. Shepherd, but thank you. And if any emails come through that need this information, we'll certainly let you know.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I see some right now. All right, thank you.
Oh, coming through to you?
Yeah, but I got them, so we're good.
Okay,
Just,
perfect.
All right, let me share my screen. Can you see what I'm seeing?
Yep, Jurassic Park, yeah, we're seeing it.
That's not what you're supposed to be seeing. Hold on.
Yeah, we saw your desktop image.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Well, you know what? Let me go ahead and get started while we get that screen sharing. My name is Kim Olzak, part of the high school counseling department. Welcome to Senior Parent Night 2020. We hope that we have lots of useful information for you tonight. Class of 2022, we finally made it. Can I have the next slide, please? So a little bit about what we're going to go over tonight. We're going to do talk about counseling visits because we've changed the way that kids can come and see us. We're going to talk about college applications and Parchment, college and career visits for the kids, a little bit about FAFSA, and give you some resources in that department, scholarships, and then finally, we'll talk about the senior dates. Your students all got a sheet of student dates, but we'll share that here at the end of towards the end of the program. Can I have the next slide, please? So eventually you'll hear from all of us tonight, but just so you have names and contact information, Miss Carolyn Benson is our counseling secretary. Miss Benson takes care of processing all of our Parchment orders and turns those around really fast. You'll hear from Miss Chavez tonight, who is our counselor with the last names A through G-O. Mrs. Melinda Reyes, who is the new counselor, GP through O. And then I have the last names P through Z. And we actually have hired a new counselor, Miss Chantel Berry, who will start with us on October 11th. And she'll be handling some of our special programs such as early college, helping us out with graduation and the big programs, and then also working with our GATE community. So what is our next slide, please? All right, so I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Chavez.
Actually, I'll start speaking. My name is Melinda Reyes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You guys might have seen my name, a different name, still in the process of getting that switched over. So in the meantime, Sandy Reyes, either one is fine. But like Ms. Oldek said, I am the new counselor, and I have students with last names GP through O. And so we'll start off our meeting with how your students schedule an appointment to see us, so counseling visits. So we've actually started this, I want to say it's been a couple weeks now, and it's been working really well, actually. We have these QR codes that are posted up all around the school building. We have one right directly on our counseling office door. So whenever our students need to make an appointment with us or need to see us, they can just pull out their phones, scan this code, and it'll take them to a form that they can fill out, and it comes directly to us. And once we see those, we send them a pass to their email, letting them know a date and a time, or really what hour of the day they can come see us. And we encourage them to show their teachers and let their teachers know. And then if they have an important topic that they're discussing, or if they have a test going on, we let the teachers decide when the appropriate time is for them to send them down to us. So that's why we kind of make it a broad hour for them to come see us, so that we're not limiting the time that they have, trying to respect the teacher's time as much as possible. So they have this pass through their email, their school email. So when we email them, it's to their school email. So they have to be checking that. And then turnaround time is roughly 2 days. We ask for them to just be patient with us. We do have kids that we're constantly seeing other things that we're doing, but for the most part, we get to see them within the 2 days. And unless it's an emergency where if they're in distress in any way, they don't have to make an appointment, they can just come see us. But this is kind of how we have our appointment system set up, and so far it's been working really well. So moving on to applications and the process of applications. And we're not limiting the applications to just college. We're going to include any kind of post-secondary institution, just to make it clear. So Michigan College Month, which is October. So if you go to our school's website, Avondale High School, and you scroll down, you'll see our counseling section where you can hit that tab, and you'll see a bunch of resources, but more specifically talking about college. So there's a link that takes you to college prep and admissions, and it gives you a whole list of the Michigan schools that have waived their application fee during the month of October. So there's a handful of schools that have waived their application fee, specifically in the month of October for College Month. I know that list also includes schools that are or have waived the fee, and there's no limit on the time. So whether it's October, November, December, they've waived the fee. There's no fee to apply. So you can check that list out. And if you needed more information, I hyperlinked this. So if you click the MCAN, it'll take you directly to the website, and you can read a little bit more about that application process and waiving the fee for it. You can go to the next slide. So we're calling it Futures Week because we don't want to limit it to College Week, because there's more than just college, right? There's more than just university. You can go to trade school. We want to practice with these kids and provide workshops for college applications, for trade school applications, and even job applications. So we haven't come up with a specific date yet, but we are anticipating that it will be sometime early November. But once we do settle on a date, we will be sure to let you and the student know so that they're well aware and they have the opportunity to participate and experience the workshops and get a lot of information, the ability to ask questions on whatever they're wondering about. So we'll let you all know when exactly that will be, but that is coming soon.
Could I step in for just a second? Just so you all know, we did have a class meeting today with our seniors, and we went over the application process of, what their steps are in applying for a trade school, tech school, college, university. So we have given them the basics because we really want this to be their process, and we want them to work through this as they're moving toward adulthood. So we really want them to take charge of this. So we did go through that with them today, and then future week will be more of a follow-up to that, and more of our goal is that we will touch every student in the process of Futures Week to touch base with them and see where they are and what kind of help that they need. Thanks.
So moving on to Parchment. If you don't know what Parchment is, it's the site that we use or that the students use to request their transcripts. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And again, like Ms. Olzek said, all the students know about this. We give them a lot of more in-depth details and steps on what they need to do. And so they have a better understanding of what's expected. But just for your reference, and I'm sure they might be asking for some help, but parchment.com is the site where the student can go and put in their request for their transcripts. And one thing we wanted to note is that they use their personal email and not their school email for this. And just making sure that they're aware of that. And again, they know that we mentioned that to them too during the meeting. So using their personal email and requesting transcripts, there's no charge. So you don't have to pay anything to request these transcripts. And we also wanted to make it clear, and we mentioned this during our meeting with the seniors too, that they have to request their final transcript from Parchment once they have chosen their post-secondary institution, whether that's a college or not a college, wherever you want your transcript sent, it's going to be through Parchment. So when they want their final transcript to go to wherever their final destination is, they need to request that final transcript on Parchment. So basically that's because if the school doesn't receive a transcript that notes that the student graduated and received their diploma, then that school won't allow them to register for second semester classes. So it's really important that they request the final transcript when it's time. And this is of course the student's responsibility. And we let them know that too, that this is something that they have to make sure that they get done. And this will become available at the end of June. But you can technically order it through Parchment as soon as the first semester is completed. And the way you do this is you need to just select on the bottom bullet, hold for grades option. And that's because if they don't select that, then and you order or you request your transcript, then those transcripts will be sent out as soon as possible. They won't be sent out at the transcript won't have their second semester. So they need to select that hold for grades option. And that's how they can get their final transcript sent to whatever institution that they decided on.
All right, so I will be talking about college and career visits. You should have gotten an email from Mr. Wilson about this, but I will touch on it. So, so students who are interested in visit or attending a college visit, they will need to go on the website under the counseling information. There is a Google form that the student will need to fill out in order to sign up for a college visit. We do need their Avondale email, so this is why the student is responsible for signing up for these visits. On the website is also a Google Calendar with all of our college visits. So any university or military or any trade program who's wanting to visit Avondale, it's all virtual. So there is a calendar that will have all the dates and when that period will be for them. Once they sign up, they will get an email from me or whoever is going to be in charge of the college visits and career visits. It will be just a pass for them to come down to be a part of it and ask questions. I do encourage you to tell your students to come with questions so that they could ask the representative who's there, just so it's not just them talking and they're engaging. So one thing I told the students also is to check periodically on the form and the calendar, because we'll have visits coming in once they register for us. So I'm going to touch a little bit on FAFSA. It's just going to be an overview of what FAFSA is, and we also explain to the students also just an overview of what FAFSA is. So if you go to FAFSA's website, we told the students it would be studentaid.gov. They shouldn't be going to anywhere else to fill out the free federal student aid application. They should go to the actual FAFSA website. So there is some helpful documents on FAFSA that will explain, if you've never done it before, the student never had done it before. There's some documents on there that will help explain what FAFSA is and what they should be looking out for. If you type in resources, they'll give you a bunch of helpful documents that you could use. So there's different types of aid that FAFSA has. There's grants, there's loans, there's work study. And so just keep that in mind when you are filling it out or when your student is filling it out. The application does open October 1st. It used to be January 1st, but they since moved it to October 1st. And this year you will be using the 2020 taxes. So you as a parent would need to give your child the 2020 taxes so they can fill that out. We will have a family FAFSA workshop at 6:30 on December 6th. If you are in need of help, there's going to be an OU financial aid advisor who will have a presentation on that, so they can help you because they work with it more than we do. So we'll have an OU representative there on December 6th. So now I'm going to talk about scholarships since we're talking about financial aid. So where you can find scholarships is on the school's website under counseling. There is a tab that's labeled scholarships. So this link is live and will be updated when we receive more scholarships. We usually receive it weekly, so it'll be updated every time we will get a new one. There's other scholarship websites that the students can go to. like Going Mary, FastWeb, studentscholarships.com, College Board, and like the specific university and college sites. These are all legit, so they should take advantage of the free money that they would be getting if they applied to the scholarships, of course. But that's about it. So next we're going with senior dates.
Perfect. So this is what we've all been waiting for, right? The senior dates, the fun stuff. Can you go to the next slide, please? So just a couple things before I go into senior dates. We have a really large group of early college students this year, the largest group that I've had. So I wanted to talk for just a second about them for a minute. They are 12th graders. They are doing everything that our seniors are doing. As far as homecoming, prom, all of the graduation, all of that, they're considered seniors. They will not do this process until next year in the fall. And so I will work with them in the spring to revisit this stuff so they have a recollection of it. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is we have some students with the pandemic and everything that are listed as 11th graders, but are really seniors. So those kids are working towards graduation. So when we put out our senior list and when we talk to our seniors, we're talking to all of them that are seniors this year. Even if their grade level in the computer says 11th grade, they are still considered seniors. They are still part of all of the festivities that we're doing this year. And we will be in contact with them and with you to make sure that everybody's on track and on their way to heading towards graduation. So that will be forthcoming. And if you don't hear from us, then that's a really great thing because your student is on track. So senior dates, could you pull up that? Can you pull that up or no?
I can try. Did it work?
I think it's loading.
Oh, okay, great.
So the senior dates are literally just the class of 2022, and there's some information about ordering caps and gowns, the graduation gear. The Jostens representative was in today to talk to the kids about ordering things. The first blurb is about ordering a cap, gown, and tassel. And so we ask that everyone, whether they're borrowing a gown, whether they're wearing somebody else's, is that cap and gown come from Jostens. And the reason we do that is because we want everybody to look the same. We want everybody to be in the same colors. So we ask that all of that come from Jostens. But yes, you can borrow a gown. You can borrow a gown from us, but all the ordering is happening online. If you are borrowing a gown and just looking for a cap and tassel, the students were given a packet of information from Jostens today. That is not part of the website. There is a separate order form in there. And so if you fill that out, if you just want the cap and tassel, and you fill that out and send it in, we'll make sure that gets ordered. The kids do not get their caps and gowns until graduation practice because we don't want them to lose them. We don't want anything to happen to them. If along the way, you decide that you want to have pictures taken in a cap and gown as part of their senior picture package, if you just contact your counselor, we have caps, gowns, and the tassel doesn't have the year on it, but it's a tassel, and it works really well for taking pictures. So if you need to borrow one to take pictures, just contact your counselor and we'll get the kids down and get them fitted for a gown. May 6th is the scholarship awards and verification. So just like you guys have been saving all of those great art projects and all of their awards and everything all the way through school this year as well. Those scholarship awards that come from universities or colleges or any kind of academic award. And we'll send more information out about this, but as those things come in, when the kids are offered them, please hold on to them, because we will recognize them for those awards, scholarships, and those kinds of things in the spring at the Avondale convocation. Any students who are doing online classes, the deadline is May 9th, and we will, honestly, I promise, we will be after them. We actually start as counselors, we start on those kids, meeting with those kids and making sure that everybody's staying on track in April, and March and April for them, to make sure they finish up. Their last day is May 12th. They will end at 9:15 a.m. They will do their exams backwards. So they'll start on Monday the 9th with 7th and 6th hour for exams, and then work their way back through. They will be there full days, but more, like I said, more details will come then. The convocation practice will be May 12th at 9:15 a.m. in the morning. And then any phone calls that need to be made about students not completing requirements and what the plan might be for them, those will happen. The counselors will make those phone calls on May 13th. May 17th, and we're hoping and praying that we can give our kids some semblance of the senior breakfast, graduation practice, senior walk that we're all used to, or at least be as close as we can be. But again, we are tied up by COVID protocols and what happens in May. So we are planning all of these things. We are planning on moving forward with them. But again, I just remember that COVID is here to stay, and so things may change, but we're going to try to keep them as normal as possible for the kids moving forward and be able to celebrate them the way we would like to. So down farther, a little bit about graduation practice and how the senior walk would look. And again, I promise we will send more information with more details as it gets closer. The seating and tickets, as of right now, graduation will be held at Avondale High School at Dick By Field at 7 p.m. on May 26th. If you scroll all the way down, Ms. Chavez, you can see that we do not know at this point. We will have tickets this year, but we do not know how many graduation tickets each student will get based on COVID protocols. And as soon as we know that, as soon as we can get some information out to you, please know that we will. And please know that we are trying with all of our hearts to get them the graduation that they deserve. So please be patient and keep an eye on the protocols as well as we do. I think the only question that I had come to me in the chat was about transcripts. And the Parchment, the way the kids order the transcripts, so they go on, they create an account and they can order, like I told the kid, there's no cost for them they can do a self-view, for them to send those transcripts to universities. And it's actually a very fast turnaround. Like when the kids go in, they'll order. Miss Benson usually comes in the morning. It's usually her first thing in the morning, and she will process any orders that have come in. And so those transcripts are usually turned around in 24 hours. So just as fast as we process them, they electronically go to the university. And when the university gets those, they have an electronic file for each student. And if that is the first piece of information that they've gotten on a student, they will start an electronic file. And so that's where that transcript will go until they get a completed application. If students need transcripts for scholarships that they're applying for, what I would suggest is that they make an appointment with their counselor, and we will run them some official transcripts or an official transcript so that they have it. And if they need to send it in for a scholarship or anything like that, they're not waiting for us to process it, and they're not sending one from Parchment because a lot of the scholarship houses and the things that they need to do are not part of Parchment. If there is a charge to Parchment, it covers like the Midwest. It's a grant from the federal government, and Parchment covers the Midwest. But if there is a college or university that is outside of their area and a charge comes up for you to send the transcript, by all means have the kids contact us and we will mail that transcript or email that transcript out so that you don't have to pay the fee. If you don't mind paying the fee, I think it's like $3, $3.50 to email to send them through Parchment. But please know that you don't have to do that. They can contact us and we will get them out for them. I can't think of anything else. Like I said, I didn't have any other questions that came through. The December 6th, we're going to have somebody come in. The other thing that I would say about FAFSA is our local colleges, Oakland University, even if your student is not thinking about going to Oakland University, if you go to Oakland's website, and I'm saying Oakland because they're local and they're close, if you look up their financial aid department, they do FAFSA workshops and you are welcome to attend any of theirs. They're doing them by Zoom. So if you wanted a better overview before December 6th comes, then that will help with that. February 17th, we are also going to do an award letter workshop. And an award letter is what happens with, it used to be the kids would get an acceptance letter, and then they would get a like a financial aid package letter. Well, now that they're doing those packages in October, what happens is you get an acceptance letter and an award package along with that. And sometimes reading those award letters is like deciphering code. So we are also going to do that and get that information out to you guys. Another question came through about, does the student receive confirmation that the transcript was received by the university? Only if the university sends them a confirmation. They can go into their Parchment account. They should be able to see that it was sent, but the confirmation from the university would have to come from the university. They should be able to see that it was downloaded though. When ordering graduation gowns online, how do we know what size to order? So the graduation gowns are basically, when you go to order your graduation gown, they're going to ask for your student height and they're going to ask for their student weight. And they do that and they base that, that's how they size the gowns. So like our gowns in the closet there's a 5'7" to 6'0". There's a 5'3" to 5'5", 5'5" to 5'7". And so that's how they send them out. And then the caps on the back have elastic. So there's no measuring there. So it's all done by weight and height. And that's how they know to size the gowns to send. And they will release. So what will happen is the caps and gowns will be held. They'll be shipped to the high school. We will hand those out at graduation practice. But announcements or any kind of senior gear that you order through Jostens, those will be shipped. They're either shipped to the house or they're shipped to the high school, and then we give them to the students. But those usually start coming in around, depending on when you order, is usually November, December for those. Another question has come in asking about if there is going to be a date where the senior students visit their elementary schools. Mr. Wilson, are we still looking to have our kids do the tour? like we've done in the past, if protocols are, if we can do that.
Yeah, our hope is to bring back some of those unique opportunities for our seniors at the end of the school year. It's really going to, again, depend on what is accessible, what is not accessible. We did make some modifications with like the cross country team this year when they went to the elementary school and the middle school, and we had them go outside. And so we may be able to make some modifications as we go along those lines, but we're definitely going to look to see how we can be creative, if we can do it, depending on where we are at in our COVID protocols.
Thank you. If we do that, what will happen? It will be on the same day. What happens is it's on the same day as the senior walk. So literally it will be like a long, they'll come in for breakfast, hopefully, a graduation practice. They'll do their senior walk through us. And then immediately following that senior walk, they'll be loading buses to go to the elementaries if we can make that happen. And so it will all be on that same date, which was, looking at my sheet, the 17th. So the 17th would be, and the reason we give you guys these dates is for you to be able to put them in your book, but the 17th would be a great time to put those in the book. I just got another question. On the website, there are 3 days next week identified for Avondale High School. So that you can order. I mean, I think they're doing like a big push to try to get the kids to order. And what we're asking is that they all order by October 5th. And if there is an issue with ordering any kind of thing, you can contact us. Like I said, there are gowns to borrow, caps to borrow. If that's an issue, please contact your counselor and they'll be able to help you. Another question came through is, will there be a prom? And I think like Mr. Wilson said, and I think like all of us feel, we want to do this as the best we can for the kids and give them the most memorable experience that we can. And it's really going to depend on what happens with COVID and those protocols. But as of right now, our senior class president stepped up today and said they are planning for the prom. They have already started their planning. So I think we're moving forward with everything we can move forward with at this time. Another question is, will there be a place for handicapped disabled persons at graduation? Yep, we will take care of that. There will be a spot. We'll be able to drop people off and take care of that and get them out to the field. So we do have protocols in place for making sure that we got everybody taken care of. I think I covered everything. Does anybody have anything else? Mr. Wilson, do we know the prom venue? Has that been booked? Do we know that?
Just typing back to whoever wrote that to us. So we are currently working on finalizing a date and a venue. We should be finalizing that this week. We're waiting to have some communication with some of the other groups here at the building that are having some events on the same night that we were looking at having prom. So we should be able to get the date and the time, or the date and the venue out pretty soon. Kim, there was one more question that said, will this presentation document be sent out to the parents? So
I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I answered that. The question about sending out the the presentation, we're going to have Ms. McAvoy post this on the webpage. And I said that, are we sending updates this week, or have we sent them already?
I have not sent them yet.
We could attach it to our updates, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the question is, how will we know if our, just so you know, how will you know if your kid is part of convocation? We will identify those kids. We will base it, that stuff probably will not come until March or April. But there'll be an invitation, they'll get an invitation for convocation.
I don't have any more questions on my side.
I do. The deadline again is ordering cap and gowns is October 5th. Just so we can get them, you know, if we end up in what ended up happening before was, if we end up in COVID protocols with Jostens, that will slow Jostens down. So if we can get those orders in by October, then we can make sure that our kids all have everything that they need for graduation. So that's why we're saying October 5th would be a great time. And yes, if you go to Jostens' website, there's all kinds of class of 2022 announcements you can order, bling for kids to order. They do a really, really, really nice job. I think.
You good? I don't have any on mine. Anybody else have any on theirs?
So I think the question was outdoors or indoors for prom, which I think it's too early to call that right now because we don't have a venue. And then again, back to the early college kids. Our early college kids are walking with their graduating class this year. They just won't, they'll get an empty cover. They won't get their diploma until 23. And so they won't walk with the class of 23. They'll be off at college, and then we will get them their diploma after that year.
So I wanted to add something to just the FAFSA because I got the link to work now, but so the application opens October 1st and the application for Michigan and the deadline is May 1st of 2022. So just keep that in mind. That's all.
So the question is, what is the difference between commencement and convocation? Commencement is the actual graduation where we confer their diplomas on them. They will walk across the stage and will actually get their paper diploma. Convocation is a celebration of our students, academically, character-wise, that kind of thing. So it's more of an evening of celebrating our kids for all the great things that they've done. So the commencement is the graduation piece. They get their diplomas, they're conferred, they're officially done. And then convocation is more of a celebration. And then another question is, if it rains, will graduation be indoors? And yes, we did go through that planning last year. We had a pretty extensive plan as to what would happen if it did rain. I don't know, do you want to add anything more to that, Mr. Wilson?
No, it'll all be in place. So either we'll have a plan B for another date, but we also had a backup plan to be inside as well. So we were exhausted in what that is, and we'll be flexible, adaptable like we normally are. We want to make sure that we have a grandiose celebration, and hopefully it's a little bit warmer than it was last year. But the plan is to have a good celebration outside, and if we can't do it on that date, we either move inside or move to another date. Hey, everybody, well, any additional questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Like I said, we will be posting this on the YouTube channel once we get it uploaded. And we thank you for your questions. We hope it was a good informational night for y'all. If you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to give us all a call. We thank you for being a part of our Yellow Jacket Nation, and have a great night.